Howdy there, Tony, Profitable Tradie. Hope you're doing fantastic today. Hey, in this video, I'm going to show you how to structure your team based on your sales or your revenue level, or maybe what you need in terms of team to hit your targets in the future. This is pretty cool because often you wonder about how many people you need to do the work that you've got now, or how many people you're going to need in the future as well. Having the right team structure, and what I mean by that is the right number of people and the right type of people, like the right roles, both out in the field and in the office is super important. It's going to mean that you've got enough capacity to do the work, to actually keep your clients happy, but also, and this is important, it's not just about what happens in the field, out on the jobs, out on site, it's also what happens in the back office. So you're going to have enough capacity to actually get all the paperwork done, because without that, things start to fall to bits, right? And you may have had that experience where you're super busy getting everything done, but then you've got a mountain of stuff to do on the nights or the weekends or whatever, and that really gets on top of you. And that has some other effects as well, which we're going to dive into today as well. Now, if you're like most business owners, probably you're thinking, well, having too many overheads or employing other people, that's like a cost, and it's not the way to go. But I can tell you one thing for sure, the best and most profitable plumbing or electrical or painting, glazing, tiling, any of those service-based businesses, they don't try and cut corners on overheads. They just make sure they've got the right amount. Not too many, but definitely not too little. They do that so they have the right number of people to actually get the job done properly in a way that's not super stressful as well. You may even be keen to figure out, when's the right time to get off the tools? How many people do I need? Or maybe you're already off the tools and you're thinking about getting an operations manager or another supervisor, project manager for your bigger business. This is going to help with that as well. I've got a cool little tool. It's called the Team Structure Calculator. It's going to help you work this all out. So if you'd like a copy, just comment team in the comments. That'd be awesome. We can get it straight to you or download it by clicking the link as well later on. Now, getting the structure right it's huge, and it's our big role as a business owner actually to work on this. But sometimes it's hard to know, how many people should I have? Have I got too many? Not enough? Whatever. So we need to just drill down and figure out, how that actually looks. So a couple of key principles here. First one is that if you want to grow, you've got to have capacity. It's massive. So here's the honest truth. Most business owners of trades-based service businesses are understaffed, and the owners are you're probably like this, wearing too many hats. You can't keep up with the clients' jobs and all the projects, let alone all the paperwork, and trying to keep things running. It's actually really tough. Just because you're a business owner doesn't actually mean that you're Superman or Superwoman. What happens is it leads to a bunch of issues that you may not even realize as well. Like cash flow issues, for example. If you're short on cash, often it's because you're too busy, because you're maybe slow at getting jobs done, you're slow at getting them finished, you're slow at getting them invoiced, your claims aren't prompt, you don't have the capacity to chase debtors up, and so you're waiting for people to pay. Maybe things are really disorganized out in the field on site as well, and there's lots of different trips and mistakes happen, and you're just juggling too many balls, and actually the profit and the margins are a bit skinny because you just can't keep on top of everything. And that's often actually a sign of being too busy, not having enough people to help. If you put it another way, you just basically need more hours in the day, and you don't have any more hours. Just because you're a business owner doesn't mean that God's going to give you more than 24 hours a day. You ain't got it. So you got to get some people to help you with that stuff, and life changes massively. So grow a business, obviously you need more people, you need more peeps to help get the jobs done and take care of all the back office stuff as well. Second principle I think is important is that, and this is this is a bit of a mindset shift. To build an incredible business that gives you time, money, and freedom, obviously the jobs are going to get done out on site, but your role as a business owner has to change a little bit. Rather than just focusing on getting the work done, it's our job to actually start understanding that our job is to build the team. Our job is to build the team around us so that they can get the work done. And that's how we multiply our efforts, or we call it leverage. Instead of just your effort, one person's effort, now you can have 5 or 10 or 15, 20, 30, 100, how many people you've got working for you, can multiply their effort. That's like leverage. And this is hard work. I'm not going to deny this is hard work, but it's actually the important work as a business owner. If you want to improve your lifestyle, if you want to make some more profit and have some more freedom, you got to understand that the role of growing the team sits on our shoulders as the business owner. And the last thing is, let's plan for the future. Exciting thing is we can use the calculator, which I'll show you in a minute, to figure out how many people, ideally we should have in our business right now with our revenue. But then we can go a bit further We're like, okay, let's have a look to the future. And where do I want my revenue to be in the future? Let's say my revenue now is $200,000 a month, or 100,000 or 50, wherever you are, doesn't really matter. Let's say we want to add a couple of 100,000 in revenue. So we're doing 200 now, we're going to do 400 in 3 years' time. And then we can sketch out, well, how does the business need to look in 3 years' time? How many people do I need then? What roles do I need then? Can draw a structure chart, put it up on the wall, and start actually working towards it. So it's pretty cool because we've got where we are now, where we want to be. We start actually working on that, and it's kind of exciting. It's like, gives a lot of energy. It's a lot of fun. Just a recap before we jump into the calculator, and if you want a copy of the calculator, just write team in the comments. I will just boost it straight out to you. I think you'll find this really juicy. If you don't get your team structure right, there's a bunch of problems. You're going to be overworked. You're not going to make as much profit as you want. It's going to be hard work. You get it right, and you can build a business that's actually fun to own. That you can get away on holidays. You get the right people doing the right stuff. You get rid of the lumpy sort of workflow and cash flow, and it's good times. It's hard work, yes, and we've got to switch our mindset a little bit to focus on actually growing the team, not just getting the work done on the jobs. That's important, but you can 100% do it. Let's have a look at the calculator. There's no exact answer for how your team should look, and this is going to give you a good estimate based on our experience. And you might want to tweak it up a little bit for your situation as well, because every business has a slightly different situation. Now, for example, a large plumbing firm that just does big commercial projects probably has a slightly different structure to a plumbing business that does a lot of service, maintenance, residential work as well. They are slightly different beasts, but this will give you a really good starting point. So here's how it works. Box A, we just put in what our average monthly revenue or sales are, or what we maybe like them to be in the future. You can do both of these. So I'm just going to pull a figure out of the air or out of somewhere, and we'll put it up there. 300 grand. We're aiming for $300,000 in monthly revenue. Box B is what's your average revenue per tradesperson or tech or your apprentices. So, how much on average do those people, how much revenue can they generate a month? Now, I've put $25,000 in here as a starting point, as an estimate. Look, if you want to change that and you think yours is a little different, maybe it's a little bit up or a little bit down, you can do that. Or if you're not sure, just use 25,000 because it'll give you a great head start, and it'll give you the information that you need. So box C is going to tell us the number of tradespeople or techs or apprentices that we need out in the field to actually generate that revenue. So real simple, $300,000 divided by 25,000, we need 12 out in the field generating the income. Now that's going to be a mixture of tradespeople and techs, and that will depend a little bit on how you want to set this up. For most people there'll be maybe 6 or 7 technicians or tradespeople, and then the rest will be apprentices of varying levels of experience, maybe from early days to nearly qualified as well. Box D, this is quite important. What type of jobs are you doing? Now, the type of back office that you need is going to be different depending on the different type of work. So if you have work that's lots of jobs like maintenance and service work, the phone's going 200 or 300 times a day, and you've got schedulers sending people and customer service reps making bookings and all that sort of stuff, you probably need a few more people in the office to support that. There's more invoicing, there's a whole lot more stuff. If you have just large commercial projects, maybe it's a little bit less. There's a little less number of jobs, even though you've probably got progress claims and a bunch of stuff that you need to do. So this is really about span of control. How many people will we need in the office to support the tradespeople? So you'll see here we've got 5 for commercial, 4 for new builds and 3 for maintenance. We're just going to assume this is a new build type situation, so we've got 4 in there. You could change this depending on your setup as well, but they're a good starting point. So that basically means we need 3 people in the office, and that's going to be a mix between maybe office manager, receptionist, marketing coordinator, maybe an accounts assistant to help. So we've got a feel for how that looks. And then the last one is how many supervisors do we need? So supervisors are who's going to actually support the tradespeople and the techs in the field. And this is based on span of control. So if your span of control basically means how many people can one person actually manage. And if it gets too big, it's absolute chaos. So we reckon around 6 is a good span of control. So 1 supervisor to 6 6 people. And you think there's a lot of jobs, a lot of work, a lot of organisation for that. So this calculator uses 6, which means we need 2 supervisors. So that may be an operations manager and a 4-person, or we may have a couple of project managers. You can sort of set that up the way that suits you best. So in this setup, we need $300,000 worth of monthly revenue. That's what we're looking for. We need 12 tradespeople or techs. We're going to need 3 people in the office and those 2 supervisors. Now those 2 supervisors will pretty much be off the tools as well. So you've got sort of overheads of 5 people and 12 people, techs running around doing the work out on site, out in the field. So that's going to give you some numbers, and then what you can do is you can just have a play, putting together a structure chart. And I've got 3 examples of structure charts in the tool, and so the first one is for a slightly smaller business. Structure 2 would probably work quite well for the numbers that I poked in. So you can see there that how that plays out. And then structure 3 is for a bigger business with a bunch of people, 35 odd people working in the business. And you're going to sit somewhere in the middle there. Now, that's not a perfect structure for your business, but this is going to give you a really good starting point on actually sketching out how it might look. There's no perfect answer with this. You can't get it wrong. You put it up, you start working towards it, and as with most things in life, as we go on, we can test and tweak them as well. So as you start putting it in place. So if you'd love a copy of the calculator, just comment team in the comments, or if you're checking this out later, just download it and it'll boost it straight out to you. It's kind of helpful. It's really fun to be able to put some numbers around it, see how it should look. It's all about span of control, how many people can control the people under them as well, and this will give you a great starting point. To figure out how it should look now, you might get a surprise, like maybe you haven't got enough people. And here's the thing, if you're worried about the overhead spend, what we find is most often, if you're not silly about it, it's going to actually make you more money because your margins will increase with better profit margins, better planning, better invoicing. The whole thing gets easier. Plus, it's more fun for you as well. Hey, I hope you liked the video. Check out all the other videos in the channel and like and subscribe.